Hello everyone, my name is MrHurriicane, and today I'm here with my final connected franchise update for Madden 16. And this is the final update because the series are ready to begin. It's been a while now since I announced the Jaguars franchise, but now it's time for the series to truly begin. I have a slider set figured out, which the gameplay, by the way, in today's video. This is a compilation of 3 games I played today on the slider set I'll be using for the Jaguars franchise. The slider set is Charter 04s from Operation Sports, and the link to those sliders is in the description below. It is the top set on the first page. The only changes I'm making are knocking down defensive pass interference from 60 to 50, because when I was playing there were too many DPI calls on the deep ball. And then I am also lowering punt power because punters have been outkicking their coverage in Madden now for a couple years, and I'm trying to negate that a little bit. I'm extremely excited to now have a slider set I can go forward with. I've been slider testing a lot these last 2 weeks. That's why I haven't been putting up much videos. I'm spending a lot of time just trying to get sliders right and get this series going, along with the Andy McKenzie Career Mode series, which did have a debut episode, but I did not follow up on because of some things that had to be fixed in franchise mode, and then obviously I wanted sliders. I thought I could get an All-Pro set this year because All-Pro is definitely more difficult than it ever has been in my time playing Madden. But I've gone again with an all-Madden slider set because All-Pro just does not pack that punch I'm looking for from the computer in these franchise games. I want to have to be focused to win the game. I've played some good games on All-Pro this year and on All-Pro sliders, but to me, the challenge is there on All-Madden with this slider set. I do think there's a lot of good realism in this as well, and you're going to see the difference between the quarterbacks, especially in these 3 games. In the first one, obviously Phillip Rivers and Teddy Bridgewater are 2 good Madden quarterbacks. In the next 2 games, you're not going to see the same caliber of player. And one thing you're also noticing, I'm not running the ball much. This is all testing and trying to show you guys how these sliders play. Man coverage is extremely tight on these sliders, so you have to be careful in man coverage, but it's not overpowered. I've done a lot of testing with a variety of teams. I play with the Vikings and Browns, who have good cornerbacks for man coverage, and they do a good job blanketing receivers, and throughout this game you see Phillip Rivers have to go to his tight ends more often. And then you see in the other games, the third game especially, they go to the receivers a little bit more as the cornerbacks aren't as good. And here you can see me try to get a red zone score, just throwing it up in the red zone. There's Stephon Diggs in the back, but he's out of bounds. There are a lot of really good incompletions. It's not just dropped interceptions on this set. There's a deflection. You saw Kyle Rudolph go up and fail to make a catch earlier. With the tight coverage, there are a lot of contested catches and batted passes. There's an extremely good blend in the passing game. And I've played the same matchups multiple times to see how differently the sliders can play out. I posted a bunch of GIFs throughout the past couple days. I played the Vikings and the 49ers week 1 matchup quite a bit. I've had Kaepernick begin the game 3 of 11 against me with an interception. I've also seen him begin the game with a 70% completion percentage. Every game plays out a little bit differently. And there you see, Rivers goes to his tight end, going after Barr and Kendricks, instead of testing Xavier Rhodes or Captain Munnerlyn. Down the middle, there it is again, the tight end, Antonio Gates versus Eric Kendricks. I've also had games where Eric Kendricks was amazing against Vernon Davis, and I've played with a lot of different teams. So I'm confident that this slider set is going to be very, very good for my Jaguars franchise. And for those of you still looking for a set to play with yourself, give this one a shot. Now, I did a stream last week where I was testing a different slider set, and I talked about not having the tuner on, and look at that interception by Jaleel Aday. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. The ball is not placed far enough out in front, Aday can make the catch. There's a little bit subtle inaccuracy that leads to big plays for the defense. Back to what I was talking about earlier though. Many have talked about the game playing smoother without the tuner installed. I've deleted the tuner. I've reinstalled my game to my hard drive, deleted every Madden 16 file I had, re-downloaded the patch multiple times. This is with the tuner on. And look at this play. I know I'm going all over the place. It's going to happen. Antonio Gates with the touchdown, but kind of look what happens to the AI on this play. He first breaks that tackle. Look at Munnerlyn. He just assumes the tackle is going to be made. And there goes Gates right past them. That's pretty cool. And these next couple plays, I also want to point out, there's a drop there by Charles Johnson. You see a lot of drops when guys are in traffic. And now this play, watch this throw by Bridgewater. He fires just off the mark for Mike Wallace. Those are the kind of inaccurate passes you want to see in Madden. It's just a little too far out in front. And again, it's intercepted by Jaleel Addae. Now here's San Diego. Look at the rush by Anthony Barr going right through the center Chris Watt, and down goes Phillip Rivers. Let's watch it again on instant replay. One thing I've definitely noticed is star players will stand out on this slider set. That was an awesome rush by Barr. Here's another play. Rivers under pressure, this time from Everson Griffin, another highly rated pass rusher, and he forces a dump off that gets knocked away there by Brandon Watts. Now, let me get back to what I was talking about earlier, the tuner. I am now playing with the tuner on, and I'm not sure if this makes a difference, some say it does, but I deleted my Madden 16 profile, which has like your game options and penalty sliders saved, and then I replayed that Cardinals and Steelers intro, let the Cardinals win this time to see how that played out, and I chose All Madden as my difficulty there. Now, I don't know if this stuff even makes a difference, but I put All Madden there after I finished out the Super Bowl 50 intro, and then I have All Madden for my franchise difficulty. It's my difficulty on the main menu, and I've been getting some extremely good games with this slider set after I did that. So I'm ready to go with the Jaguars franchise. I have just a couple more minor things to figure out, but we are ready to go. This coming week, the Jaguars franchise will finally debut. Thank you guys for being patient with the series. I've wanted the series to begin as well, but I was never going to rush it. And I'm hoping the series and how it begins is worth the wait. I have not started playing the Jaguars franchise yet, so the first episode will be all preseason stuff. By the way, I had a Stephon Diggs walk-off touchdown there, wiped out by a penalty. My second long touchdown pass that was taken out by a penalty. We ended up actually tying this game. But basically, I will start probably playing the Jaguars preseason and getting that edited on Monday. Tomorrow I'll watch football all day and figure out the last couple tweaks I'll make to get the franchise ready to go. And one of those things, I want to see what you guys have to say. Pre-existing injury is something I normally begin my franchises with. And obviously there are a couple major injuries for the Jaguars with Dante Fowler, obviously. Big first round pick for them. He was hurt early in the offseason after he was drafted. And then this past week, the Jaguars placed Brandon Linder on IR. And I have the newest slider set. By the way, everybody went to the middle there, committed to the inside because it was a blitz, and they ran a toss. Perfect call against mine, so that's why Murray had the easy touchdown. But I have updated rosters with updated ratings, but I'm leaning towards now not having pre-existing injuries on. That's not really for me. It's for the CPU and how injured players take up roster spots during preseason, so they're cutting players they probably shouldn't because they have injured players taking up roster spots. And also, I could just have everybody start fresh, have all their injured players back. There will be other players injured during preseason, and this is my Madden franchise universe, so it's not really a huge deal if I don't take pre-existing injuries, but I was planning on using it up until a couple days ago. So I'd like to see what you guys think about pre-existing injuries. Should I turn those off and let it be just my universe? We get Dante Fowler in year one, and we just see how everything plays out. That's something I'm debating, so that's one of the last things I have to decide. The other thing I've been doing is just adjusting rosters and seeing who the computer is cutting after the preseason. I've done a variety of tests to see who the CPU is cutting. Early when Madden 16 came out, the Colts always cut Philip Dorsett because I believe he was their 6th best overall receiver, and the Falcons always cut running back Tevin Coleman. Dorsett was a first round pick, Coleman was a third. I'm not sure the last time anybody drafted in the first 3 rounds was cut in their first offseason. Definitely not a first round pick. Maybe the year after. Those guys aren't getting cut anymore, but it's the same situation I'm fighting against right now, and it's with players who were drafted a lot lower. So I'm making the Titans keep David Cobb instead of Terrence West. because Cobb is a rookie. I think he has more potential, so I made Cobb's awareness a little bit higher so that they don't cut him over Terrence West. There are other players I've changed, like Jeremy Langford for the Bears, Grossu, their rookie center. I also upped his ratings a little bit so he wouldn't get cut. I made sure Stephon Diggs was the Vikings' 5th best receiver. He shouldn't be cut. Otherwise, you guys know what's going to happen if I can have a chance to pick him up in free agency. So what I'm doing basically is simming through a preseason, and the CPU pretty much cuts the same guys every time. So I just take a look at that list and then figure out, okay, this guy is the 3rd best at his position. If I make him the 2nd overall wise, he probably won't be cut. And then I retest it, and it usually works out. One of the exceptions, however, is with older players. The CPU doesn't like keeping older players even if their contract isn't that expensive. By the way, how about that? Drawing Khalil Mack off sides, shot play downfield, but it's intercepted, free play, doesn't matter. It's fun to have penalties play a factor this year. It's been fun in my testing, and I know it's going to be an extremely interesting element once the Jaguars franchise actually begins. One more thing I will likely do in my Jaguars franchise is turn off trades during the regular season. I don't really trade during the regular season, but the CPU does, and they make trades they probably shouldn't. For instance, I've seen Zach Mettenberger dealt for a 2nd, the same with Vinny Curry. I don't like a lot of the trades the CPU makes, so I'll save the computer from itself and just turn off trades until the off season, where then teams can trade up and down the draft. But during the season, I think it has a lot more harm than good, so I don't think it's a necessary thing. Watch this play, by the way. Yeah, I know my controller needs charging, but Mike Evans going deep. I blitzed, play cover 0, wanted to see how Jameis Winston would react. Evans didn't have very much separation, but he does get away from Kareem Jackson. Another thing, drive goals. I believe there is a way to turn drive goals off, which is something people did to negate the confidence effects it was having, but it looks like after the 2nd patch, confidence isn't really affected much anymore by drive goals. So I'm going to keep drive goals on, and I'm keeping those updates that you see on the interface, which also includes the stat updates and how close players are to goals on the bottom line. I like those updates a lot and seeing how close players are to their goals or various milestones. Watch this throw. I gift this one on Twitter. Excellent inaccuracy. I say that because it's just a good looking play. It's a realistic type of throw from a lower rated quarterback. Can't hit that pass, he's a little bit off. This one is obviously a lot more off, but you just see that Mallett's not meant to make this throw right now. And Winston's going to try one right here. How will Jameis do? Lobs it up, overthrown. I may be playing on all Madden, but that doesn't mean the CPU's quarterback doesn't matter. It has a big effect. By the way, I played a test game last night. Man coverage only, Bears against the Packers. I was the Bears. Rodgers tore us apart for 4 touchdowns, like 80% completion percentage. So I've seen the good and bad of man coverage, and of course the good and bad of various quarterbacks. There's a throw Jameis should have had picked off. He started the game, by the way, 1 of 5. After that dropped interception, he was 7 of 13. So things can change, and I think the slider set is really going to make the games a lot of fun this year in my Jaguars franchise. I don't have a set date for the first episode, but just know it's coming this week, and I'll let you guys know when to expect episode 1, which is the full preseason with highlights, along with the season preview, getting us ready for week 1 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Thank you guys for remaining patient. I appreciate it, but the series is coming, and I hope everybody's excited. Even though we're a while since the game actually came out and I announced the team, I'm ready to go and make this the ultimate franchise experience for you guys. Andy McKenzie also makes his NFL debut this week as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's update video. Plenty of good news and good gameplay. Check out Charter Sliders linked in the description below. Leave your feedback down below if you want me to use pre-existing injuries or not. Maybe I'll just make a poll. That'll be in the description. Vote there, and I'll see what you guys have to say in the comment section as well. Subscribe if you have not done so already for the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise that is finally happening. I have not been this excited to debut a franchise, maybe ever. I'm excited, guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. Have a great day. I'll see you guys in the Jags franchise.